The SOMO Racing League is on the air. We are live here from Richmond Raceway. This is the Portside Jaguar and Land Rover Cup Series. Sam Cooper Bennett in the booth with you, and joined with me is three guys that I know very well. There's 4 people in the booth tonight. To my left is Tony Trapasso. To my right is Mr. Scott Brinson, and a new person in the booth tonight, Mr. Nate Siefka. Guys, how are you doing tonight?
If I was any happier, I'd need to be twins.
Doing good, Sam. Glad to be here with you, buddy.
Nice one.
Thanks for here, man.
Absolutely, and we're going to have an absolute barn burner here tonight here at Richmond Raceway. It's 155 laps of just pure short track action in the Cup cars, and yeah, I've been looking at the hot lap sessions, and no surprise at the top of the standings we've got Mr. Joe Mitchell and Braden Johnson and Adam Baker as your top 3. Current championship leader and most winningest driver in the league, Mr. Keith Mayato, struggling tonight, so keep a watch out for him coming through the field. But anyway, here we are at Richmond. Going to be a good one tonight.
Well, Keith's struggling tonight, but I'm thinking he might still be hungover from that shot he took at Pocono last night in the DW12.
Yeah, he got neck coated pretty hard there, sent him up into the fence. He had a hell of a run last night for his very first ever DW12 race. He ran in the top 5 all night. He got accustomed to the aero push pretty quickly, so I was pretty impressed.
Well, speaking of Keith Mayato, shall we go through the points before we get going, Scott?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's actually Adam Baker that's the championship leader. Okay.
That he is. He's got a big lead, too. He's got a 70-point lead over Joe Mitchell, who's back there in second place. Seth Hatchell is 96 points back in third. We were just talking about Keith Mayato. He's there in fourth place. He's 102 points back. Shane Papala jumped up a couple spots into that top 5 in fifth. Lupe Gonzalez is sixth. Ryan Gemmel, seventh. Aaron Mulrooney Jr., 8th. Tom Clayton up 3 spots to 9th. And Chris Samard rounds out the top 10. Samard 176 points back. So he's got some work to do, but that's just the regular season. I think it's the top 12, might be the top 16 that qualify for their chase at the end of the year. So basically just got to get in the chase, and then anything can happen. Absolutely.
And for a person that's had so many wins so far this season, you'd think Keith Mayato would be further up the table. I mean, 4th place in the standings. He's pretty far behind the current leader, Adam Baker.
Oh, yeah, he missed a couple of races.
Oh, yeah, true.
He missed one. He's got 7 starts to Adam's 8, but yeah, he's still 102 points back, so he's still quite a ways back. Even if he had that start, he'd still be behind by quite a bit.
Absolutely.
With qualifying underway, Samard jumps right straight to the top of the leaderboard.
Absolutely, as we've got people wrecking all over the place. That was the 36 of Braden Johnson going into the wall there, so he's not having such a good qualifying run at the moment. We've got, let's put our qualifying order up actually as we are. So Chris Samard stand at the top of the standings. Braden Johnson, who's just wrecked there, is in second. Adam Baker third. Keith Mayato fourth. Seth Hatchell fifth. So the usual suspects up there in the top 5.
True story. And Mayato apparently caught the wall coming out of 4 too, so he's going to have another shot at this one.
Well, thankfully it's open qualifying tonight, so he's got plenty of time to do it. Just under 3 minutes left in qualifying, and we're currently looking at Seth Hatchell there in the number 8 making his way around track, and there is also Mr. Shane Papala running a new paint scheme tonight.
Very sharp car on Papala's car.
Yeah, and also Joe Mitchell running a Skittles scheme tonight, so he's keeping with the Kyle Busch theme.
And I'm watching Mayato. He is struggling through turn 2.
About halfway through qualifying, still only 4 guys that have not taken time. Jay Dubuque, Lynn McNeese, Ron Hollyfield, and Jeff Sharp. The other 20 guys have laid down a time.
Absolutely.
Looks like everyone's just struggling to put the power down to the pavement there.
Absolutely. As we are just about 2 minutes left in qualifying. Again, the usual suspects up the top. Joe Mitchell actually struggling to actually lay down a proper lap time tonight, as he is down in 9th place. I take that back. He's just shot up to 2nd place with one hell of a time, just 0.010 of a second behind Chris Simard. Let's go back to one of our lower down drivers. That's Tim Giles there in the team overtake, number 19. Not really getting the best run he would hope for here at Richmond. Missed the race last week, I think, at Bristol, so it's good to see Tim Giles back out here in the Camry.
There's a couple of names that are missing tonight that I'm not seeing.
There is one name out there that I haven't seen yet this season. That's the number 91 of Jim Locking. I don't think I remember seeing him before in this series.
Yeah, but the one that's glaring at me right now that we're not seeing on track is our old buddy in the number 14.
Oh yeah. Where's he tonight? That's an interesting development there. So, looks like he won't be making it out on track tonight. Anyway, less than 30 seconds to go in qualifying. Let's go through our top 10 in the qualifying session. Chris Simard is currently your pole sitter with Joe Mitchell 2nd. Braden Johnson sits 3rd. Adam Baker is 4th. Keith Mayato sits 5th. Seth Hatchell 6th. Lupe Gonzalez 7th. Shane Papala 8th. 9th is Ryan Gemmell. And running out the top 10 is Tom Clayton. Okay, 5 seconds to go in qualifying. Guys, before we go to the grid, what are your thoughts on tonight's race?
It's gonna be a carnage festival.
Yeah, I'm thinking the safer barrier coming out of turn 2 is going to get a workout tonight.
I don't think it's the safer barrier on the outside. It's going to be that wall on the inside.
Yep.
Definitely, for sure. It looks like everyone's just struggling to get the power down.
That's what I was thinking. Everybody losing it coming off the corner. They're going to have to be real light on that gas pedal tonight.
Absolutely. As we are going to go and get to our grid right now. Let's pull that up for you now. Starting on the front row of the grid will be Chris Simard and Joe Mitchell. Row 2 will consist of Braden Johnson and Adam Baker. Row 3 will be Keith Mayato and Seth Hatchell. Row 4 will be Lupe Gonzalez and Shane Papala. And row 5 will be Ryan Gemmell and Tom Clayton.
Aaron Mulrooney will start 11th. Jim Locking starts 12th. Timothy Lewis will roll off 13th. Jeff Glockner 14th. Billy Howard starts 15th tonight. David Gainforth Jr. starts 16th. Johnny McCallchuck 17th. Brian Neff 18th. Paul Zoda starts 19th. And Tim Giles rounds out the top 20.
Go ahead. I'm sharing.
Starting 21st will be Jeff Sharp and Len McNeese. That'll be row 11. Row 12 will be Ron Hollifield and Jay Dubuque. And Jay Dubuque is shotgun on the field. So 24 cars set to take the grid tonight. So a big field here at Richmond.
Jay actually already exited the room. He didn't come back in, so we're only going to have 23 to start.
Oh, that's a shame.
Guess he just figured he'd save himself the hassle.
Would like to take this quick moment to remind everybody you are watching the presentation of the Portside Land Rover Jaguar Cup Series, brought to you by the Southern Motorsports Racing League. If you are in the greater Mount Pleasant, South Carolina area and you need your car worked on, the trained technicians at Portside can handle anything from your brand new Jaguar or Land Rover back down to your old trusted Chevy or Ford.
Absolutely, as the guys are pacing out on track right now. There is your leader, Chris Simard. On his outside is Joe Mitchell. Going to be one hell of a race here at the short track in Virginia. Doing 2 pace laps, obviously, because this is a short track, just like we did last week at Bristol. And look at them all lined up there. They've got some very pretty paint schemes, and the one that sticks out to me there is the Hickey's paint scheme on Braden Johnson. Oh, the Mickey's paint scheme, my God. I'm going blind.
Apparently Sam's had one too many Mickeys.
Absolutely.
At least he knows what it is this week.
Exactly, yeah. Aaron Mulrooney running the Juicy Fruit paint scheme as well. That's a pretty paint scheme.
This league always makes me hungry, and I did not get dinner before we went live tonight. So, yeah, we're in trouble.
I ordered pizza. Good thing it's to be a short race.
Pace cars off as the guys go around the final corner, and away we go. 155 laps around Richmond Raceway, and Chris Samard off to a decent start with Joe Mitchell right on the outside, and he's going to try and take that lead away from Samard already, and he does.
Let the excitement begin. Here we go. Let's see how many of these guys lose it coming off the corner once we get going here. So far, so good. Well, it was bad in practice.
Absolutely.
Top line might be king. I mean, everyone's on that bottom. They get someone above them. They might be stuck down there.
Could be one of them deals, too, that once the race gets going, nobody goes around. It's funny how that works out. Everybody just trying to push it for all the time they can get out of it in practice. But once the race starts, everybody's, easy on that loud pedal.
Well, everybody clean and green so far. Joe Mitchell starting to pull away from Samard, who's got his mirrors full of that 48 of Adam Baker, who is in third place. Keith Maiato is already up to fourth place, and has got Braden Johnson and Seth Hatchell behind him. Braden Johnson trying to that inside line on the 36. Not good. Is he going to make it work? He does make it work, and he's going to come into the top 5. Braden Johnson falling backwards.
Well, that was one of those moves that Hatchell kind of just bombed it into one and hoped it was going to stick. And Johnson saw it coming and did the wise thing. As we're only on lap 4 of 155, so still plenty of racing left in this one.
Yeah, they keep this thing green though. They'll knock this thing out in under an hour, easily.
You said that.
Okay,
you said that last week.
When we're still here at midnight, you guys can get your hate mail coming to Scott Brinson.
What was we 5 minutes over an hour last week? It didn't go very long. Oh, we got one record on the backstretch, the 73. Heavy impact with the inside wall. He's your first victim of the evening.
That would be Jeff Sharp. Let's go back and find out what happened to that number 73 car. Let's go back about 30 seconds.
I believe that's referred to as stepping on one's own junk.
We had somebody behind him almost lose it as well, but they held on to it. But yeah, he just lost it.
Richmond's one of those dangerous tracks where you're driving and you're going, wow, the car's tight, the car's tight, the car's tight. I got to loosen it up. I got to loosen it up. Well, the problem is, once you burn about 10 gallons of fuel off, and you get the heat in those tires, you're not gonna want a loose race car.
No.
The scary thing was they were only on lap 5 there, so he might have burned off just a little over a gallon of gas. So.
Well, it looks like Jeff Sharp has immediately put his car behind the wall, not taking any chances tonight. So our first retirement of the night, Jeff Sharp behind the wall already on lap 5 of this race.
And everybody from 15th back is taking it down pit road. So first handful of drivers that aren't quite 100% happy with their setup, it looks like.
Yes, Paul Zota is the first one out of his box.
That tells me that they don't like how the tires are going to feel even after a short run.
Well, a lot of people don't know that out of 2 there's like a big old hump that can catch you out pretty quickly.
There is. It's a really bad bump, and I dare say the only car that you would run here on a normal, and I use that term normal with air quotes, basis would be the Tour Modified. And even that can be affected by it. Not as badly as the full-fendered guys, but it's something you got to be mindful of. And this is one of those tracks like we saw last week at Bristol. You come off 2, you come off 4, and if you're trying to honk on it, you better be mindful it could snap loose on you.
Absolutely, as the guys are pacing, we are on lap 8 of 155. Joe Mitchell is there, currently a leader. Adam Baker manages to get round Chris Samard eventually, just before the caution came out. He's in second. And Chris Samard, as I just mentioned, is in third. Keith Mayato fourth. Seth Hatchell fifth. Lupe Gonzalez up into sixth place. So good start for the 53. I'm not going to say any more than that because last time we said something about him, he ended up wrecking out. So yeah, Joe Mitchell picking the high line for this first restart.
Well, it's going to let him keep it wound up coming off a four. So you know, Joe's got enough laps here to realize that trying to restart from down low is not the easiest thing, and it worked for him on the initial start too. He started up there, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Absolutely. As Scott, get us going again.
Pace car's off. Ready to get going again here. Richmond and the Skittles car has a nice restart there. And here we go again. Joe Mitchell gets us going. Adam Baker back there dueling side by side with Keith Mayato.
And I'm thinking Joe Mitchell is going to try to put as much distance between himself and that angry pack of dogs behind him as he possibly can right now.
That would be the plan.
Absolutely. As Chris Samard lost another spot there on that restart to Keith Mayato. Mayato's up to third. He said he didn't like this track last week when we interviewed him after his win, but he seems to be doing okay so far, up to third place. But Chris Samard falling backwards again, just like Braden Johnson did in the first run.
Well, Mayato's won the last 4 races, so I'm never counting Keith out.
I'd also like to point out that he said he loathed Martinsville and hated Bristol with a passion. We all know what happened at both of those facilities.
Absolutely. As let's go back to Lupe Gonzalez. He's trying to fight his way through the field as well. He's on the back of Seth Hatchell at this very moment. He's got Shane Papala right behind him, the guy that came so close to winning last week, but just lost out to Keith Mayato. He's sitting there in 7th place with Braden Johnson in 8th. Ryan Gemmell up to 9th. And Aaron Mulrooney in that Juicy Fruits number 07 is in 10th. Tom Clayton is there as well. He's got podiums the last couple of weeks. Can he get up the field and get a top 3 again? At the moment, it's looking very unlikely.
Tom Clayton is like the ninja of this league. He's one of those drivers where you don't hear too much from him for most of the race, and then there's 5 to go, and you're looking and going, how the hell's Tom running in 3rd? Where'd he come from? You know, he's kind of quiet, bides his time, and tries to keep his nose out of trouble. So you got to respect a driver like that.
Well, last week he capitalised on the mistake that Adam Baker made and stole that 3rd place from the number 48. So last week was kind of lucky, but the week before that, yeah, he definitely got that under his own merit. But Tom Clayton, a very strong driver, and he will sneak up on you if you're not careful. So keep an eye out on him for tonight. Paul Zota is another one of our big movers tonight. Started 19th, he's already up to 12th, and making moves on the 90. Well, battled it out with the 91 of Jim Locking. So watch for Paul Zota coming through the field as well.
Watch for Zota coming through the field is, you look back up towards the front of the field. Mitchell and Baker have flat checked out.
Absolutely is.
Almost a full second to the good over Mayato.
Got Johnny McCulchuk and Jeff Glockner back here making contact. Whoa. Big check up there by McCulchuk. I'm sorry, that was Glockner that made the big check up there. Getting rough back here in the back.
Gemmell, Mulrooney, and Clayton are slugging it out right now for 8th. I'm sorry, 9th.
Yeah, Mulrooney is there in P9. Gemmell and Clayton want it. Mulrooney has it. And yeah, it's going to be a tough job to keep those two behind him, because you know what we've seen in the past, what Gemmell and Clayton are like. They love to race people and they know how to pass too.
Paul Zota of PZ Designs in Overlays has put about 4 laps consecutively running side by side with Jeff Locke. Those two are completely in lockstep right now, and the way that they're running, those tires cannot possibly last.
Yeah, it looks like Timothy Lewis wants part of that show as well. Timothy Lewis, unlucky last week after getting the pole position at Bristol, but this week a bit more conservative and just riding through the middle of the pack. What could have been for that number 4 last week?
Not wrong.
Let's go back to our leaders. Joe Mitchell, as you already said, they have checked out. Mitchell and Baker in the lead. Keith Mayato has got a pack of angry dogs behind him. He is there in third place. Can he hold on to that third place? I'm guessing because he's won 4 in a row. Maybe?
He's got his hands full right now. A little bit of blinking going on right there behind him with Chris Samard, but all these guys are anxious to get by, but they're all kind of got their own little battles going on. It's now Papala's going to gain a spot back there.
I think everyone's also realizing that tire wear is probably a pretty big issue here if we continue to go green here.
Yes, sir. I'm surprised we've gone green this long. That's what I was saying about you know, one of them deals where in practice everybody's out there trying to squeeze every, you know, second and tenth of a second they can out of the car, so everybody's whipping it around. But and as I say that, we get a caution.
Jeff Glockner.
Never mind.
Kind of talk me through what's going on again.
Oh God, what's happened to Jeff Glockner there? Let's
The same thing that happened to Jeff Sharp.
That's what we were saying in practice. That's what I was just talking about. But some guys are having some issues with it here in the race.
Let's go back and watch what happened to Jeff Glockner. He's making his way through the corner, just lost it all by himself and just absolutely slams into the inside wall. So yeah, and as you can see on the replay, the ambulance lights come on straight away because he knows he's got to make his way to the infield medical centre straight away after that.
Yeah, that was a major wall burger there.
That wall's going to have a nice workout by the time this night's over.
And that target brought to you by Crown Royal.
Everyone looks like they're going to bring it in here.
Oh yeah.
Safe bet.
Or
And
Mr.
they're
Feel
running-
Goods, please.
Yeah, I mean, you figure they got 25 laps on the set of tires already. Billy Howard staying out.
Getting that old bonus point. Trying to anyway. Did he get it?
I don't think he got it at the line. He's going to have to stay out one more to get it.
Never know. With the top 12 or top 16, I'm not sure what the number is that's going to make the chase cut. I'm almost positive it's top 16. That 1 point could make a difference later in the season.
It looks like everybody made it into their pit stall safely as Adam Baker wins the race off pit road, or did he?
That was close. Quite the drag race.
Yeah, he did.
So that was very, very close between Baker and Mitchell. Baker being the winner off pit road this time round. So we have a new leader on pit road strategy.
Adam Baker, 14 flat in his pit box.
Wow.
Everybody else was 14-2 or worse.
So Billy Howard not the only one to stay out on this pit stop run, as Len McNeese is the other one that's stayed out in the Chattanooga Chew 84. There you go, just made you hungry again, Tony.
Yeah, Sam, when you come to the States, you owe it to yourself to try everything that you guys can't get over there. Chattanooga Chew is definitely one of them.
Hey, we can't even get Taco Bell over here.
Chattanooga Chew.
Chattanooga Chew, it's how should I put this? If Twizzler made a candy bar and it had a bastard child with saltwater taffy.
That sounds beautiful.
It is the most glorious thing you could ever eat. Personally, I'm not a fan of coconut, so I try to avoid those ones. But it is just, it's sugar wrapped in sugar with a coating of sugar.
Can't say that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of eating.
So, yeah, interesting foods. I mean, we can't even get Taco Bell over here, so yeah, I guess you're right when it comes to having to go to America to try the American style foods.
Well then, when you do make it over here, we're going to go to a couple barbecue joints. Two of the best barbecue joints you're ever going to find north of the Mason-Dixon line at Dinosaur Barbecue and Sticky Lips. We'll get you some Dinosaur Barbecue and a Utica Club, and we're going to go to Rochester and go to Sticky Lips and have a Jenny Cream Ale.
Nice.
I like that name. That just sounds like a good place to go eat. Sticky Lips.
And Sam, I'm going to share a picture with you later of the challenge burger that they have at Sticky Lips. If you've ever had a chance to see Man vs. Food Nation, Joey Logano tried this, and failed miserably at it. But I think Sam Cooper Bennett could probably do it.
More than likely. I've got a bottomless pit of a stomach anyway. Speaking of Joey Logano, let's get back to the racing action. As Tony, I'm going to let you get us going this time.
Field working his way through the 3-4 complex. Billy Howard going to have control of the field on 22-lap tires. This could get sketchy with everybody with fresh tires behind him, but he gets a decent start as Adam Baker works to the inside of Len McNeese. Going to make quick work of the Chattanooga Chew, number 84, and now sets his sights working to the inside of Howard as they go down the back straightaway, bonneted into turn number 3. Howard shuts the door, though.
Watch Joe.
Yeah, they got to be careful not to run these guys over here.
And Joe Mitchell's in trouble. He's already been passed by Seth Hatchell, and it's fallen into the clutches of Chris Samard, who's putting a pass on Len McNeese. Len McNeese is getting freight trained right now.
That's what I was saying. They got to be careful. Now, there we go. We're wrecking. McNeese in the wall. We got another one, 6 and 66. Heavy contact. More of them wrecking. 7's in it. It's dominoes.
And Tom Clayton gets caught up in the dumpster fire.
Ouch.
5 to 6 cars in that one.
Ron Hollyfield involved in that one. Ryan Gemmel catching a piece. Brian Neff catching a piece.
Let's go back.
There was a bunch of other guys wiggling too. There were a couple guys that almost lost it that saved it.
Well, from the looks of it, Gemmel ran flat over Len McNeese.
Well, let's go back and watch that. I mean, it started with Len McNeese getting absolutely freight trained, getting put 3 wide there by Keith Maiato. Well, Len McNeese hit the wall first, then Braden Johnson run over by Gemmel. Gemmel took Clayton with him, and then the 7 took another 2 cars with him. But Len McNeese, you got to say, was the architect of that huge melee just then.
Yeah, that's the result Dan out on old tires. And they weren't really that old, but that just tells you how valuable new tires are going to be tonight.
Well, they weren't that old. He had 20 laps on them. I mean, they were...
But look what happened. That's what did that take 2 laps on the restart? Couldn't get it going again.
So, I'm thinking to borrow a page out of your book, Scott. You're going to need as many Dr. Feelgoods as you can get tonight.
Yeah.
As everyone's disappeared on my screen again, this has happened before. Great.
Oh, I'll come back.
Yeah. It might not.
It's the ghosts of iRacing.
Oh, gotta love the ghosts of iRacing. No, my quality's in the red. So, oh no, they're back. Yay, they're back.
There you go.
No, they're gonna
like
go.
David Copperfield magic.
So, Baker, Hatchell, Howard, Mitchell, Samard, Papala, Maiato, Gonzalez, Mulrooney, and Johnson, your top 10, as we are working lap 34 of 155. And I'm really surprised Billy Howard has not taken it pit side yet.
Absolutely. Bear with me 1 second, guys. I will have the screen back up in a second.
I mean, just flat out with as bad as he was struggling there on the restart, yeah, he's still sitting 3rd. But as easily as Baker was able to blow by him, you got to wonder if Howard is going to take it pit side this time. Nope, he's not.
Interesting.
Very.
I mean, the end of the stage is what, lap 45. He's got 10 laps until the end of the... So maybe he's banking on just making it to that point.
He's hoping he'll survive, but I don't know.
That's a big ask right now because he's got 28 laps on those tires.
And as we've already seen with Len McNeese, old tyres really causing havoc when it comes to restarts. I mean, Len McNeese just fell very quickly back through the pack and just couldn't cope with the amount of cars going around him, and ended up hitting the outside wall and taking a few cars with him.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's going to be aware of the 87 still being out here. But the guys in the back, they may not know. Not everybody out there is going to realize that the 87 continued to stay out, so...
I mean, this might be a decent strategy call. I mean, he started the race 15th place, and it's what we've seen tonight. It's hard to pass. So if he can just, stay, let's say, above 12th place, that probably, for him, is a success to stay out this much.
A lot of it's going to have to do with the restart.
A lot of it's going to have to do with the restart, but the problem is he's got Joe Mitchell starting next to him. His lights go out on the pace car. He's got Baker in front of him. Oh no, I'm sorry. He's got Hatchell in front of him, and he's got Papala behind him. What could possibly go wrong?
We're about to find out.
Bottom line got checked up heavy there.
Seth Hatchell is a little bit asleep at the switch. It's going to let Mitchell get back up into second. But here comes Hatchell on the inside again. Drag races to go into turn number 3. And Baker able to keep it wound right back up. Or, I'm sorry, Mitchell able to keep it wound up. And here comes Lupe Gonzalez on the high side as well. Nope, I'm sorry, that's Papala.
And Billy Howard doing everything he can to basically give everybody as much room as he can. He knows he's on older tires, so he's just staying out there on that high side, and everybody just passing him on the bottom. He's already lost quite a few spots since this restart, probably about 5 spots. But now we got the 36 just below him. Oh, what a save. Still trying to save it. Through the corner, down below the line, but does save it. What a ride for the 36, but a hell of a job at holding on to that thing.
Sensational job by him to save that thing.
Comes Papala to the inside of Gonzalez, side by side through turn number 2.
Oh, we're wrecking.
And we are back under caution as Glockner hits the wall again.
Wow, that could have been a lot uglier than it was, so some guys did a good job avoiding that.
As I am just about back now, let's go. There we are.
That was Mikulczyk that backed it into the wall.
I think that's what, caution 4, caution 5?
Caution 4. He may or may not have had some help from Brian Knapp.
Just a little nudge.
No, I've managed to get the screen back, guys, so we are back live again. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. Yeah.
It happens.
Hey, Sam, we understand. You know, is everybody bringing it down pit sides this time?
Thing is, though, this was a iRacing server glitch because the bar was all the way to the left and not to the right this time. So iRacing crapped me out by the looks of things. So
fair enough.
Thanks.
Well, anyone out there that's familiar with this game knows that this thing is far from perfect.
Nope.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that might be the stage.
Yes, no.
42 laps. We're not going green before 45.
Yeah. You might be right there.
So I was about to say, if we don't go green, we might as well just stay out and try to collect as many points as you can.
Meanwhile,
and everybody on pit road right now.
Absolutely, as that is Jeff Glattler.
Baker just annihilated the pit count.
Still won the race off pit road again. I think I'm not sure if you're live, Tony, but they are back out on track again.
Oh yeah, no, I see this. But just Baker annihilated the pit count.
Oh yeah. Seth Hatchell making it up to second, Joe Mitchell up to third now, Shane Papala up to fourth, and Chris Samard fifth. So Keith Maiato in all. I'm noticing every single run we're having tonight is falling further and further back into the pack. So Keith Maiato not having the best of times out there tonight.
Unfortunately, no.
Still a lot of race left, though.
This is true, as we've got someone stopped on the track. That's Billy Howard. Not sure what's happened to him, but he's just stone cold stopped on the track as Tom Clayton nearly runs him over.
Yeah, his front wheels have moved a couple times there. That's kind of odd. Still sitting there now. He's gone.
Yeah, he's towed it. As I believe Tom Clayton was the one getting the lucky. No, he won't be getting the lucky dog because he's 11 laps down. So Tom Clayton coming out of pit road after getting some repairs, and he's rejoined the back of the field, as has Tim Giles. Tim Giles got some serious damage on the front of that Toyota now.
Len McNeese actually got the lucky dog there.
Ah.
So McNeese back on the lead lap.
That didn't take him long. As the guys are 2x2 now. Nate, we've never heard you get them going before, so let's hear you get them going this time.
Well, beautiful.
I like to give everybody a turn. But yeah, they are all lined up there, 2x2. I'm noticing Marooney's starting to make his way through the front to the front as well in that Juicy Fruit number 07. He's there going through turns 3 and 4. Okay,
so here we go. As Baker's off and he's away. Green flag is back out as Hatcher looks to stay ahead here of Papaya, but it looks like he might be able to as Papaya gets a good run around the outside. Looks like Mitchell might get a look on the inside here as it looks like he's going to try to clear him out. Ooh, big Papaya.
Shane Papala getting it all wrong on the backstretch there, hitting the outside wall and losing that position, unfortunately, to Joe Mitchell. Shane Papala's going to fall back into the grass of Chris Simard, and here comes the 77 on the inside. Not going to make it work this time as Chris Simard has got interest behind him in Keith Mayato. So Keith Mayato's on a charge as well as Lupe Gonzalez.
Simard looked there. He was like, this is too early to make that move. They're going to turn 1.
Simard looked like it was a little too early, but the problem is, you know, you've got Papala with all that damage. You got to wonder if that's going to affect him on his next pit stop. Luckily for him, iRacing has not factored in cut tires yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although I did hear a little birdie say that could be rumored in the next build.
I just want him to give us blue grooves on the dirt tracks.
Oh, that'd be nice. As newsflash, Paul Zota is in the top 10. He's made his way up to the top 10 after passing David Gameforth. So Zota on a charge too, and he's chasing down Jim Locking. Trading Paints is not playing nice to me. Thanks, Trading Paints.
South Point Casino on that car, Sam.
Yeah, I've got his stock paint up. Trading Paints ain't playing nice. Yeah, as we got... carry on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind everybody, Sam is from across the big pond right now, so whatever little glitches that we have here in the States, remember that it's compounded as you try to go across the Atlantic Ocean.
Absolutely, as Adam Baker is starting to stretch his legs now out in that lead over Seth Hatchell, who's got his mirrors full of Joe Mitchell right now. Shane Papala is a little bit back from Joe Mitchell now, decided to settle down a bit after that sketchy restart he had, and Chris Simard seems to be falling a bit further backwards as he's starting to get away from Keith Mahato now.
It seems like a lot of the field's starting to settle down a little bit. Everybody's getting spaced out just enough to where everybody can just take a deep breath and calm down a little bit.
Absolutely, as we are now on stage 2 of 3, obviously.
Mayato has his rearview mirror filled with Lupe Gonzalez right now.
Well, Lupe Gonzalez is seeking redemption tonight after having such a shocking form over the last 3 races. He's determined to get a good result out of tonight, and if he's going to pick on anybody, he might as well pick on the top dog, and that top dog is Keith Mayato.
Adam Baker looks strong tonight. He's looking to tie Mayato for that all-time wins lead.
Well, here's another one looking for redemption after making that horrible mistake last week at Bristol as well, staying out on old tyres and just really throwing the win away from after leading the most laps last week.
And Mayato's actually got him by 2 now, so he would still be 1 behind if Baker does win tonight. But Adam Baker's looking like the class of the field right now. But there's another caution. The 7's all tore up on the backstretch. Looks like a modified.
Oh. So another caution out here tonight. We are on caution number
5.
5 out of 5.
On lap 57.
Let's go back and watch what happened to Ron Holyfield. Battling it out there with the number 4 of Timothy Lewis. Gets onto the back of him, almost runs him over, coming through turns 3 and 4. I think I might be a bit too far back, but he's there racing with Timothy Lewis. And yep, he just gets it all wrong coming out of turn 2, and whop, there goes the inside wall.
And this target brought to you by SunTrust Bank.
So you're going to keep plugging that place every time they hit that part of the wall.
Got sponsorship revenue somehow, right?
Whoever they hit. But this race being brought to you by Portside, Jaguar, and Land Rover for all your automotive service needs. And I know a lot of these drivers are going to need a lot of service after this race is over. But remember, folks, Portside is not just for your brand new Land Rover or brand new Jaguar. They can handle your trusted Ford, Chevy, or Toyota as well. So if you are in the Mount Pleasant, South Carolina area, or a member of the greater Charleston Metroplex, if you will, look up Portside. I'm sure they'll appreciate your business and they'll get your car serviced right.
Absolutely, as we've got big developments on pit road as Seth Hatchell has won the race off pit road. Adam Baker has lost 2 spots to Hatchell and Mitchell.
He got it all wrong going into his pit stop.
So more mistakes for the 48 as the pit stop gremlins come back again from Bristol, and they cost them a couple of places. Shane Papala is still in 4th as Keith Mayato's managed to jump Chris Samard in pit road as well.
And Jim Locking got by Paul Zoda on pit road, but don't count Zoda out. He definitely he's shown, especially the last couple of weeks, that he definitely has the skill on the shorter tracks when the chips are down.
Well, I'm definitely not counting anybody out here tonight. There's still a lot that could happen in this race. We're not even to the halfway point yet, so still a lot could go down, as we've already had 5 cautions tonight. So not counting anybody out personally.
Look, I do have to say, I'm kind of surprised by the pace that Chris Smart's had in this race. I mean, he put in a great qualifying time, and I thought, put a good qualifying time like that, you want to stay at the front, but he's falling to 6th, and it's not, a lack of pace. I think he's just kind of just waiting.
It's not for lack of pace, but it is for lack of car placement. The thing that we've been seeing is when you get into 1 and 2, if you're not exactly where you need to be, or somebody can get to your inside and not let you arc that corner the way that you want to, it's going to completely kill your momentum off the corner.
Absolutely is.
Lights are out on the pace car, though.
Absolutely, lights are out. Seth Hatchell is your man. Let's pit the outside line once again. He has Joe Mitchell alongside him as they are going to come to green with Adam Baker and Shane Papala on row 2. So here we go again, about to start another green flag run. Pace cars in. Shane Papala holding him down slightly, and yes, contact on the inside line. Joe Mitchell spinning the tyres and taking everyone with him. Shane Papala's going to move up to 2nd, or is he? Because Joe Mitchell managed to recover from that pretty quickly.
Keith Maioto hammered the back of the 48. I don't know how much damage Maioto is going to have from that, but he definitely gave him a good shot because they stacked him up there on the bottom line.
As Keith Mayato's now facing pressure from Lupe Gonzalez, who's also facing pressure from Aaron Mulrooney Jr. My God, I cannot speak tonight. As Chris Samard seems to have collected up everything as well. He's moved up into the top 5. Adam Baker is man under pressure from Shane Papala. Shane Papala trying to take that 3rd place away from the number 48 machine as they make their way into turns 1 and 2. Adam Baker's just going to hold on to it for now, but they're still side by side as they come towards turn 3. And still no advantage there for the number 89.
Maito's under attack back here by the 53, Lupe Gonzalez. I think Maito's feeling that damage that he's got on the front end. I've seen that car wiggling a little bit, even going down the straightaway, so he's battling that race car a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that damage on that restart really taking its toll at this point, as Lupe Gonzalez nearly gets run over by Mulrooney Jr. Mulrooney Jr. had to back out of that one, so we've got a nice three-car battle here for 6th place, but 6th place is not where Mayato wants to be at this point.
For the past 3 laps, the back end stepped out of Mayato's car.
You got a spinner back there.
Tim Giles getting it crossed up and gets it pointed in the right direction again.
Yeah, I'm surprised the caution didn't come out, but no caution. Boy, that car's seen better days, hasn't it?
Just a bit, but he's still the last car on the lead lap, and still pointing it in the wrong direction, even though he did have that spin. But yeah, having a tough race on his first race back after missing Bristol last week.
So we are closing in on 20 to go for this stage, as Papala goes to the inside of Baker as they haul off into turn number 3.
Yeah, there's a storm of brewing up here in the top 5.
Yeah, Shane Papala tried the outside line, and the last time he attacked Adam Baker, he's got the inside line this time as they make their way through turns 1 and 2. Papala's probably got the favoured line at this point because the inside line seems to be working so well, but Adam Baker really keeping it wound up on the high side as they're still side by side coming through turn 3 again. Adam Baker into the wall, and that's going to give it to Papala.
That's the only problem with running that outside line is, yeah, you can keep it wound up, but you also have to deal with the marbles that are accumulating. We're at that point where the marbles are going to start to rear their ugly head up there.
Absolutely, and I'm wondering how much that damage is going to affect him now, as he has now fallen to 4th place and still actually staying quite close behind Papala. So Adam Baker really trying to stay competitive at this point, but as I've just mentioned, that damage on the right hand side of his car really might come into play later in the race.
Completely pancaked the side of the 48 right there.
He got rear damage too from where he got hit by Mayato, so that car's definitely getting beat up a little bit here, but it's short track racing, and it doesn't have as big of an effect as it would if we were at like Michigan or one of those big tracks like that.
And meanwhile, back at the front, Seth Hatchell's under pressure from Mitchell and Shane Papala now. So Hatchell really holding these two guys up as they make their way through turns 1 and 2. Nice battle for the lead shaping up now, guys.
Yeah, I still think there's a storm brewing up here. These guys are racing pretty hard up here. It just takes one mistake, take 2 or 3 of them out. No resets here in this league, so that'll be the end of your evening.
Well, the one thing we've seen from Shane Papala over the last few weeks, and whenever he's shown up, loaded for bear, he's got a longer run set in his cars usually. So we're at that point where, the tires are you've worn all the goodie off of them, and it's what you have left in the chassis setup is what's really going to dictate how far forward you can get from this point on. And this is where we've seen Papala shine. It's 17, 18 laps into a run, and after, Papala's car really starts to come alive.
And speaking of Papala, he's got the inside line of Mitchell, and Mitchell just did exactly the same thing that Adam Baker just did, scraping that outside wall, and that's going to let Shane Papala in. He's got that inside line coming out of turn 2. He's going to get the drag race coming out and onto the backstretch into turn 3, but just like Adam Baker did before, keeping it wound up on the outside is Joe Mitchell, but Shane Papala is going to take that 2nd place away right now.
Definitely the preferred line coming through 3. Yeah, you can keep it wound up, but if somebody can actually get the bite off of 4, they're going to make it academic.
Yeah, so
pretty much turning into a 7-car breakaway here.
Pretty much, as Aaron Mulrooney Jr. really, he's on an island all to himself right now, because he's got a good 1.7 second lead over the next car behind him, which is Braden Johnson, who's still kind of hanging in there, really.
Yeah, after the 9th that he's had. He had a hell of a save earlier, if you guys remember that.
Very much so.
Well, I was still trying to bring the live feed back up, but yeah, I was listening. Just had feedback from Billy Howard. Apparently his wheel froze. That's why he was sitting in the middle of the track earlier, and that's why he's put his car behind the wall.
Interesting. Yeah, it definitely looked weird, that's for sure. I hadn't seen that before. And then the wheels were moving around, so
yeah,
definitely odd.
Meanwhile, let's go back to the front there as Shane Papala now has set his sights on our leader Seth Hatchell. Adam Baker has actually got around his teammate Joe Mitchell now, so Adam Baker recovering from that hit into the wall now, and he's starting to make his way back to the front again. However, Shane Papala just that slight bit faster than him and keeping that gap constant.
And this front 7 just continue to pull away from the rest of the field as Mulrooney is starting to slide back to that second group now.
In this top 7, they're starting to get a little strung out. They're starting to, you know, kind of find their own pace and figure out what they need to do to tweak on that car in that next pit stop to have something for the final run to the checker. As we are now 8 to go to the competition caution.
Yeah, it's Lupe Gonzalez. I'm sorry for interrupting you there for a second, Tony, but Lupe Gonzalez getting it all wrong coming out of turns 1, 3 and 4, and lost a bit of time to the back of Keith Mayato, so that's going to give a bit of relief for the 09, but yeah, definitely a scary one for the 53.
So what this 89 car is going to be on the rear end of the leader here in a couple laps, as long as he doesn't run out of time.
Absolutely, as we are now 6 laps to go before the end of the stage. Stage 2 about to come to an end, and then after that it's just a straight fright to lap 155, so almost 2 stages in, guys. What are your expectations between now and then?
I'm thinking the kid gloves are about to come off.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely an interesting race as we continue on. We are now 5 laps to go before the end of the stage. We're focusing on Keith Mayato, who's actually trying to fight Chris Simard and at the same time defend from Lupe Gonzalez, who's now decided he wants to recover after almost looping it a few laps back. Let's go back to our leader. Seth Hatchell has now got his wing mirrors full of Mr. Shane Papala. Shane Papala struggling in qualifying, but really making his way to the front now, really making himself known to the other drivers as he really wants to avenge that second place he got last week.
He wants to win this stage, difference in the points. Every point matters, so trying to win that stage right now.
And if you look in front of those guys, lap traffic could play a role in this one. As they're going to catch the lappers just as this stage is about to come to an end.
That always makes it interesting.
Yeah,
that's one way to put it.
That lapper, I believe, is Jeff Glockner. Yes, it is.
24, yes.
Lap traffic about cost me the race last night because of the aero push. My 2+ second lead vanished due to aero.
Ah, you still won the race, not so.
I'm just saying they can play a role. Not so much here in these cars, but there is aero push.
That's the end of the stage.
Yep.
So Hatchell, Papala, Baker, Mitchell, Simard, Mayato, Gonzalez, Johnson, Mulrooney, and Locking.
Absolutely.
I was actually watching a documentary last night about the difference in the generations from these cars, from the 1st generation to the 6th generation, the difference of the aero push and how the quality of racing in NASCAR has gone down because of it. It makes passing harder.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're going to go through our stage results after stage 2. Seth Hatchell is your stage winner. Shane Papala coming home 2nd. Adam Baker 3rd. 4th is Joe Mitchell. 5th is Chris Simard. 6th is Keith Mayato. 7th, Lupe Gonzalez. Braden Johnson passing Aaron Mulrooney Jr. in the end, and coming home 8th. 9th is Mulrooney Jr., as I just mentioned, and rounding out the top 10 and getting the 1 point is Jim Locking. So Mulrooney Jr., you were saying before that he was falling back into the hands of the other drivers, and yeah, him being overtaken by Braden Johnson just absolutely proved that. As we've got some people staying out, Brian Neff being one of them. So, at the end of the second stage, shall we bring someone down for an interview, Tony?
Sure. What do you want?
Let's talk.
Tell me Shane Papala.
Yeah, I'll let you talk to Shane.
So Shane Papala, Tony up in the booth. You got me, sir.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, we've been noticing that the longer the run goes on, the more your car starts to come in. Is that by setup, or is that just you're not falling off like everyone else is?
Nah, I think I'm not falling off as much as everybody else. I can't run that fast lap right off the bat, but it seems to come to me the longer we run, so I'm hoping it's going to go green the majority of this run here.
Fair enough. So a couple pucker moments there when you went to the inside of a couple guys. You saw them brush the wall. Did you happen to catch that from your point of view, or did you not know that that took place?
No, I saw them and I heard it, actually, once I got underneath them, and it's pretty loose down there too, so I'm trying to keep it straight, and then I heard them get in the wall, and I thought we're all going to be collected there.
Fair enough. So how bad is the tire fall out here?
The wear's not showing, but the pace is definitely slowing down. For me, at least, getting through the center of the corner, you got to really baby it, so.
Fair enough. That bump that we've been seeing out of turn number 2, is that really affecting the line you guys can run out there?
For me, 2's not so bad. It's taking that transition into the tri-oval coming off of 4 that's really, really scary for me. You just got to really keep that egg underneath the gas pedal and keep the tires underneath you.
All right, fair enough, Shane. Best of luck to you, and hopefully we're talking to you in about 60 laps.
All right, Tony, I appreciate it. Thank you.
That was Shane Papala there, the guy that's been making moves in that second stage, just missing out on the stage win. That obviously went to Seth Hatchell. Seth Hatchell losing out to Adam Baker and Papala on that pit stop. So
well, Hatchell slid through his stall.
Oh, and so another one of those.
Yep.
Oh, great. So
lights are out on the pace car.
Absolutely.
That's to 36.
Well, that's not really a big surprise. He pounded it pretty good.
Yeah.
As we are back live again, still
Good deal. Welcome back, Sam.
I'm not back in the session yet. I'm just still having technical issues with my computer. I'm not sure what the hell is going on right now, as everything seems to be failing at the same time, and even IRTVO wants to play now, so yeah, great.
We're wrecking on the backstretch. Paul Zoda just got spun. Contact on the inside down below the line. He may get hit sitting down there. Nope. Got heavy on the brakes there. I think that's Tom Clayton that was going to come up and hit him, but got on the brakes. Yeah, that was Clayton.
Well, Clayton was just coming out of the pits, so.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Zoda got turned there on the backstretch.
Heavy right rear damage on the 99 of Zoda.
Meanwhile, Adam Baker continues to lead as we reach the 1 hour mark. I count grid time. We're about 3 minutes short of it.
Yeah, roughly. 8 short.
Well, I'm back in. I don't think I've fixed my issues at least.
My issues are still ongoing. I'll be back as quickly as I can, guys, but we are still live. I'm just noticing that we are still live, but for some reason
we haven't been talking to ourselves, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's been like a radio show tonight.
Yep, sure has. Old school tonight, folks. Old school.
So
Make you
Baker,
feel like you're back in the
Mitchell,
40s and the 50s.
Baker, Papala, Mitchell, Hatchell, Gonzalez, Samard, Mayato, Mulrooney, Lewis, and Locking. Your top 10 is we are working lap 121 of 155. And I got to think, Scotty, that we're getting to the point where we're going to see some green flag stops start to happen.
Yeah, I'd be thinking so. Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think they'll go all the way, but you never know. You may have somebody that may just decide to try to go all the way to the end. Whoa, just as I say that, Papa had a big wiggle there, so maybe not.
Well, you figure, you know, we're closing in on 30 to go, and they're already 30 laps into this run. You know, tires.
If we're going to see it, it's going to be here in the next 3 to 5 laps.
That's a fair assessment.
Because they got enough fuel to go to the end, so if these guys have any plans on stopping, it'll definitely be here soon.
The question is, who's going to be the first one to blink?
And then who blinks immediately after?
I mean, if Adam Baker's the first one to go down pit road, what do you do if you're right behind him?
Well, you got to cover them. You can't just, let them have fresh tires. You got to pit the next lap.
Now that I think about it, they run 70% fuel here at SOMO, so
yeah.
Maybe not. They may not have enough fuel. They may just be just short. And it would be just short, too, if they are shorter.
And if you take a look at who's directly in front of your leader, Adam Baker, that is Paul Zoda of PZ Overlays. So, Zoda in dire need of a caution right now. I know he's probably about the only one that actually wants to see one.
They got 16 on the lead lap here. Zoda being the last of them.
Well, we know for a fact that if anybody pits right now, they can make it from here because they just went 35 laps on this current stint under green. And we are 28 to go.
It's going to be very, very interesting here towards the end.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the PC way to put that.
They don't stop here.
Interesting.
They don't stop here in the next couple laps. I don't think they have any intentions on stopping.
Or they could, if they're short, they were just going to run until the end and then have a nice...
Oh, there's the caution.
There you go. Well, that changes all that. Yeah, I was going to say the leaders did a great job of getting it all woed down there, and they didn't get collected in that.
It was Holyfield and Glockner getting it all wrong going into turn number 1.
We got a modified division out there tonight. A couple of them out there.
Glockner's had a very interesting night, per se.
That's the polite way to put it. I'm thinking that his night could be summed up as the love child between a dumpster fire and a train wreck. And that's not a slam against him or his driving talent. That's just the way it is.
Don't want to screw up a pit stop this time, that's for sure.
As we've got the live stream back now, we've got the live feedback.
As everybody taking it down pit road, I believe Zoda's going to get the lucky dog here and put him back on the lead lap.
Definitely don't want to be interviewing anybody before they make a pit stop.
Oh, let's bring Paul Zoda into the booth as he's taking his lucky dog lap.
There you go.
I'm kidding.
That wouldn't be so bad.
So everybody,
I'm just giving you guys a hard time.
Yeah, I'm giving you a hard time too because I'm going to keep calling him Jerry till you fix that.
Oh, I fixed it last night. It's already taken care of. I got a kick out of that. I thought that was
And
so funny.
look who won the battle off pit road.
Yep, Shane Papala, the new leader. He's determined, man.
This does not bode well for the rest of the field. So Papala is going to have
way.
Papala is going to have clear track in front of him, and he gets to control the restart. Oh,
You're not going to want to see a caution rest tonight. He wants that car to really go in green flag run.
true story.
We're about 21 to go when we get going again.
Well, we know everybody can make it from here.
Pretty
I'm
much.
surprised some people in the back didn't, take 2 tires.
You kind of can't here because 2 tires in a full-fendered car really loosens things up, and these guys are already battling a loose condition. So,
Very true.
you'd basically be what's the PC way to put this? It would be less painful to take a hammer to your own hand. And by that I mean place your hand on the table, grab a ball-peen hammer and just smack yourself with it. It'd be less painful than taking 2 tires at this point in time.
I'd rather not.
I rest my case.
Exactly.
Now we've got the live feed back up. I've just had to remind people that we are having technical issues, so we can only apologise for that. If anybody has a problem with that, then we apologise. I'm just sorry. That's all I can say.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know, it's because computers.
Yep. And you don't control iRacing or the internet or any of that stuff, so it happens.
Yeah.
It'll happen again. It's just part of it.
The one thing I would like to point out, though, Sam, is in between the times that your router has decided to take a poo on us.
It's not the router, it's the computer itself.
Okay, but in between those times, the stream has been absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. It's been okay.
You know, you don't have that stuttering that sometimes happens when that other idiot that works for Local Broadcasting streams, but that is what it is. Lights are on the pace car. Pace car's in, and Papala pulls the trigger.
Well, I think Samard was in the wrong gear. He didn't get going at all.
Samard may have been in the wrong
Big
gear.
shot there. It looked like Keith just didn't get on the brakes soon. Went up, gave him a little bit of a shot.
So my auto in serious trouble now, and he did say before that he did not like this track, and he's kind of proving that right now.
I think that was part that Gonzalez thought he had him clear. Oh! I missed that one. Clayton just blasted him.
Yeah, he finished him off.
Tom Clayton had just gotten that car fixed to where it didn't look like a pavement modified anymore, and oh my Lanta.
Back to the modified division you go.
You're not wrong. Oh man. Holy Christmas, what a shot.
It was like you got kind of just surprised by how slow everyone went into the corner, and looked like he locked up the rear wheels trying to keep it off him, but he didn't quite keep it off of Gonzalez.
Well, like I said, that had a lot to do with the line Gonzalez was trying to take. I'm thinking he may have had, how should I put it? In iRacing, there is a line code in the it's called an INI file. There's a line code where you can set how far forward or aft that your spotter calls clear. And I'm thinking my auto may not have played with his yet. And it comes through as a 1/4 of a meter. And for those of you who don't speak British, that is roughly 13 inches. I usually set mine to 3/4 of a meter, or roughly just over 2.5 feet. Only because I want that little extra cushion of, am I actually clear? So if somebody's got a run on me, I don't. We don't have what you just saw there, and that's something that I've been preaching to some younger drivers. You know, play with that file a little bit, especially when you're on tracks where you're going to be in heavy traffic.
Absolutely, as we've still got Shane Papala as our leader. Shane Papala really coming to the fore this week as he's got his old sparring partner Adam Baker right behind him as we're about to go to another restart.
Another restart. We're going to be going live with about 15 to go. And I dare say that that's usually the point where Papala's car starts to come into its own. And the fact that he's got control of this restart, there's a good possibility that he's going to be able to maintain that clean track in front of him and not have to deal with the aero push that he's been getting when he's caught the leader. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Absolutely, as they are 2 by 2 again with 16 laps to go. Shane Papala is our leader with Adam Baker second, Joe Mitchell third, Seth Hatchell fourth, Aaron Mulrooney Jr. making his way back through the field. He's in fifth. Chris Samard sixth, Timothy Lewis seventh, Brian Neff eighth, David Gameforth ninth, J.M. Locking is in 10th place. So lots of movers and shakers. The biggest mover I'm seeing out on the field right now is Aaron Mulrooney Jr. He's in the top 5 with Chris Samard on his inside. But Shane Papala, he's been up the front for a while now. Despite all the technical issues, he's made his way to the front and everything else. Technical issues being my technical issues as the pace car is off. He's going to hold him down and away we go with 15 laps to go before the checkered flag drops. Shane Papala gets off to one hell of a start, and then Joe Mitchell's going to try and make a pass on the outside of his teammate Adam Baker as here comes Hatchell.
Ooh, contact in the back there, it looked like. Oh, no!
Oh!
They're wrecking. Big wreck. Heavy damage. Hatchell's in it. Some other guys are involved.
Mitchell.
Oh, yep. Some big hitters.
Took some contenders.
Go back to that.
That was ugly, and it was what we had been fearing all night. Unfortunately, Mitchell caught that transition coming off of 2 all wrong. Hatchell, a victim of circumstance, and everybody behind him just gets annihilated.
As we see them going through turns 1 and 2, there you can see gets the transition wrong, gets into the back of Hatchell. Hatchell spins around, gets Mitchell again. It looks like...
Jeez. Zoda just got that car back on the lead lap and gets completely run over from behind.
Absolute. So bad luck for the 99 there of Zota. Looks like... Was it Jim Locking? No, it was Timothy Lewis that was involved in that as well. Some more bad luck for that number 4 machine. As, yeah, a lot of the big hitters taken out of this part of the race, and that's going to be falling nicely into Adam Baker and Shane Papala's hands.
Yeah, Johnny McCulloch just did not get checked up, and Zoda, unfortunately, a victim of circumstance at that point.
Yeah, no love lost between Zota and McCulloch, so definitely another thing to add spices, well, another more wood to the fire, as they say.
Fuel to the fire.
That's the one I was looking for. Chris Samard.
Wood to the fire. Hell, they just poured nitromethane onto the damn thing.
Chris Samard is in 3rd place. Aaron Mulrooney, the biggest benefactor from that. He's up to 4th. And Brian Neff in the top 5 now. What a run he's having tonight.
How he snaked his way through that last melee, I have no idea.
I have no idea either. With the Winn-Dixie paint scheme on this car.
Being a long-time Mark Martin fan, that paint scheme brings back a ton of memories.
3 of the top 5 have some significant nose damage to their race cars, so...
David Gameforth doesn't have a hood.
I was just looking at that.
David Gameforth doesn't even have a hood.
No. Well, there's a bunch of them, definitely. Samar's got front-end damage.
As an old crew chief once told me, if the back bumper of your car is more beat up than the front bumper of your car, you weren't going fast enough.
Let's go back and look at Lupe Gonzalez as he is in 9th place. Having a much better race round tonight, but again, I'm not going to say much more than that because of the luck he's been having lately. So I'm going to stay quiet and just let him finish this race out, and then we can talk to him later.
All right, so we're currently 10 to go right now.
So this,
which means we're going to take the green with roughly 8 to go. Guys, what do you think is going to happen from here? You know, is Baker going to be able to time the run just right to get a restart on Papala?
I think Papala's been too strong tonight. I think Papala. This race is Papala's to lose because Papala has been absolutely putting people in their place tonight, and Adam Baker has been one of those people. So I don't know. It's going to be tough for Baker to actually even get close to the 8 to 9 tonight.
Don't forget about the old chrome horn.
Well, the one thing that Papala did right on that last restart, you know, we heard him say that down low coming through 3 and 4, it's sketchy. And he timed his throttle. I wasn't live.
Neither was I.
And he timed it
We're
right.
going again.
He timed it right there as well. He was picking up the throttle just as that transition was about to hit. So Baker had to wait on pulling the trigger another car length. So, you know, Papala's doing everything he can.
Even though Papala got a great jump, Baker is the closest second it's been all night long coming off a restart. So he had a good jump from what he could do.
Coming around at 7 to go, I wouldn't rule out Adam Baker. He's won the second most career wins here in the league.
Well,
so, like, he's no stranger to victory lane.
Like I said before, Adam Baker has been second base to Shane Papala all night tonight, and again, Shane Papala off to a very strong restart and really managing that gap between him and the 48. Meanwhile, Chris Simard is under increasing pressure from the 07 of Aaron Mulrooney Jr., who fancies his chances at top 3 tonight after starting way back in the field.
Here comes the 48. He's inching his way closer.
If Mulrooney Jr. can get by Simard, that's going to be the story of the night right there. Because I believe Mulrooney started outside of the top 20.
Yeah, something like that. So Mulrooney Jr. really on a charge tonight. 11. So it's still pretty far back though.
Very much so.
Baker just keeps running a lower line here.
Here he goes.
He's here.
He's going to give him the chrome horn.
Yeah, next flag ends it at this point as we're now 4 laps to go. Adam Baker wants it. Papala has it. Who's going to get it out of this one as Baker decides to back off and regroup for another attack later on before the race ends?
Baker looks really strong in the 3. That's his strongest point on the racetrack. Meanwhile, it looks like Papala just can't quite.
Oh no!
Lap traffic here. Are
you serious?
Oh no! Oh, and Baker's in it! Baker's in it! It's over! Papala's going to be the winner. Baker.
Simard's going to win it.
Simard's the winner out of nowhere. And Mulrooney's going to finish second. Lupe Gonzalez is going to get 3rd place.
Wow, I can't believe that just happened. We got to go back and look and see what went down there.
Oh my God.
I can tell you what happened there, but I don't think we're going to be broadcasting next week.
Let's go back and watch that as Glockner gets it all wrong, takes the leaders with him, comes down the track. I don't think his spotter told him they were coming. Papala gets into first, and then when Glockner gets spun round by Papala, collects Baker, and yeah, it's all over at that point.
There are going to be some people going to the hauler over that one.
Yes.
I don't think it was. He didn't know he was coming. I think he knew he was coming.
Oh yeah, that was. I mean, he could see the whole field was coming.
Yeah,
He was more worried about hitting Mikulczyk than he was about anything else on the track.
That's what I'm saying. But they were all right there. I mean, if he saw him, he saw them.
But yeah, Shane Papala's been gifted back third place, but I don't think that's going to be enough for him. He wanted that win tonight.
That's an awful way to lose a race.
You know, and here I was thinking the announcer's curse wasn't going to hold true, that we were going to break it tonight.
We were wrong.
Yeah. Someone just twisted in, and I believe that was Locking. No, it wasn't Locking, it was Mikulczyk. As a surprise winner tonight, Chris Simard is your winner at Richmond Raceway, and after some controversy with 3 laps to go, where Shane Papala just lost the win. I personally, I don't think he'll want to be interviewed at this point.
Yeah, I'm thinking that if we want to keep our PG-13 rating, we may not want to bring Papala in.
It's just heartbreak for the 89. I mean, he came so close last week, and he was leading going into the final 3 laps, and just to have it taken away from him like that, that's just got to be absolutely devastating for him. And I don't blame him for being a bit unhappy. Meanwhile, let's go to
Aaron Mulrooney Jr. Joining us right now. Aaron, hell of a run. Talk us through what you just saw.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. You know, I was just right behind Chris, and then I just saw 2 cars on the apron, up into Shane. Yeah, you know, I just drove right through it.
I mean, were you able to actually pick a line through there, or was it kind of close your eyes, squint, pray, and steer?
I was just basically following Chris through.
Fair enough. But started 11th, finished second. Very impressive run, young man.
Thank you.
Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
I definitely want to thank you guys for broadcasting this.
Okay. Aaron, we'll let you get back down and talk with the rest of your crew. Congratulations on the podium, sir.
As
Aaron Mulrooney, man of few words.
Absolutely. As we're going to go and talk to our winner tonight, and I bet he's probably more surprised than us to be up here in the winner's circle. But yeah, he's here.
I'm
somewhere
trying to find him.
And
there he is. He's hiding on me.
Surprise, surprise! My computer's being a
Chris Simard. I don't think you were expecting that to happen, were you?
I was not. No, I'm surprised by that, but better be lucky than no luck at all. So.
Well, talk us through what happened from what you could see.
Well, I saw. I think it was the 24 and the 08 get together, and I was just trying to hold off the 07 there in third, and it's just a bunch of accidents in front of me, and I kind of held it to the floor, and I prayed for the best, and it worked out. So
you're saying you had a complete cold trickle moment?
Oh, I had a cold trickle moment. I could see everything, but I was just I figured the way the race was going, I just hold it to the floor and hope for the best, and it worked out. So.
Well, the box score is probably not going to show the night that you had. You started up on the point. We saw you drift back and have a little bit of problems when the race first started, and you were able to battle back into a podium position. Talk us through the early part of the race and what was going on.
Yeah, the early part of the race, the start there, I didn't get a very good 1 and 2, and I lost the lead there, and then I gave up second, and I was just kind of almost cruising from there, and my pit stops were kind of iffy there for a while, and then I got stuck behind I forget, I think it was the 07. I got stuck behind for a little bit, and that kind of screwed me up there halfway through the race. But all in all, it was a good night. I don't think I would have, a top 5 would have been good for me, but I'm happy. I can't believe I won this race. So.
Well, it's not very many people that can say that they won from the pole at Richmond, but Chris Samard can actually put his name on, stamp his name on that part of the trophy. So congratulations, Chris. We will see you next week. Somebody help me out here.
Talladega.
Oh boy.
Yee.
Talk us through your thoughts on that, Chris.
Yeah, I love Talladega, so it's hit or miss for me there, but I love running there, so it's one of my favorite tracks. So the way things went tonight, anything could happen, and I'm game for it. So.
All right, fair enough. Again, congratulations on the win, Chris. Looking forward to seeing you run next week.
Thank you, guys.
Well, that's going to do it for tonight's broadcast. Our race winner. Oh my God, what a finish that was, guys! I don't know what to say.
Me neither.
I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what just happened.
I mean, we didn't know drama was going to happen. I don't think any of us expected that kind of drama to happen.
I mean, I know what to say, but I think I'll just leave Zoda to say it.
True story. That's one of those deals where we all saw what happened. We've all got our opinion on what just took place, but that's why the league admins are the league admins. It's their call to make what happens from here forward, and I know that they're going to do what's best for the league. I don't think any of us were expecting to see what we just saw, but I know there's probably some unhappy people tonight, and there's definitely a lot of cars that are going to need to go see the fine folks at Portside Automotive in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, the greater Charleston Metroplex, if you will, to get some service done. If you need service on your car, just remember that the fine folks at Portside Automotive are not just trained to handle your brand new Land Rover or Jaguar. They can handle your trusted Chevy, Ford, or Toyota as well.
Absolutely. As we're going to go to our results now. Shocking finish. Unofficial results. Chris Samard coming home with the unexpected victory after shocking finish. Aaron Mulroney Jr. picks up second. Shane Pipala, heartbreak for that number 89. He comes home in third. Lupe Gonzalez, what a run he's had this time, shaking off the bad luck from recent weeks, and he comes home with the top 5. He comes home in fourth. Brian Neff with a surprise 5th place as well. Seth Hatchell finally coming home for 6th place after a previous accident that he had before. Timothy Lewis coming home in 7th. Len McNeese coming home in 8th, so a good comeback for him. Paul Zota picking up a top 10 as well, and Adam Baker, the other person caught in that melee with the 24, he rounds out the top 10.
David Gainforth comes home 11th. Jim Locking comes home 12th. Johnny McCulchuk 13th. Jeff Glockner 14th. Ron Hollyfield 15th. Keith Mayato, he was a top 5 guy all night long. He'll finish 16th. Joe Mitchell back there in 17th. He ran in the top 5 most of the evening as well. Unfortunate for those guys. Tom Clayton finishes 18th. Tim Giles 19th. And Braden Johnson rounds out the top 20. Billy Howard 21st. Ryan Gemmel 22nd. And Jeff Sharp rounds out the field of 23.
Yeah, Jeff Dubuque not taking the start. So 23 cars took to the green, and wow, turned into a race of attrition in the end. And I would say a surprise winner, but it wasn't really a surprise because the guy that won tonight actually started on the pole.
Yeah, but the box score definitely doesn't show the whole story as to what took place tonight. We heard Chris say that he had some problems at the start, dropped back, and then was mired in traffic for a while, and he was just hoping for a top 5. So when he had the podium in his draft, he was doing everything he could to stay in front of Aaron Mulrooney, and I don't think anybody was expecting to see what happened there to bring out that final caution. I mean, I saw there was a couple lap cars they were gaining on. When I said, oh no, I was thinking, okay, there's lap cars, this could go one of two ways. And I wasn't expecting the third way to come, crashing through the wall.
Yeah, and crashing through the wall it certainly did. As I've got to give a quick shout out to a couple of other drivers, Lupe Gonzalez being one of them. Shaking off the bad luck from the past few weeks and actually coming home with the top 5 tonight. He must be one happy guy in that number 53.
Very much so. That was a hard fought top 5 for Lupe.
Absolutely. As we're going to go to our close now of the broadcast, provided that my computer decides to stop being a pain in the backside tonight. Guys, what are your final thoughts on tonight's race?
I'm just stunned by the end of it, but it's kind of fitting after all the cautions all night long. But at the same time, unfitting to have unprofessionalism at the end of the race and involve the leaders and not only take the leader out, but take second place out as well. But that's just my opinion of it. But like I said, I'm sure the admins will handle it. But I'm still shocked by the finish of it.
For a second there, I thought we were watching a Carb Cup race. Not with what the leaders were doing, but with what happened in front of the leaders. That was definitely something that you normally don't see in a league race.
Emotions took over.
Absolutely.
I think that my point of this is that we were robbed of what was potentially a great finish between the leaders, and it turns out that two others' individuals' actions robbed us, I believe, of what could have been one of the best finishes we could be watching.
Absolutely.
Well put.
Absolutely. As we're going to come to the close of this broadcast now, just want to say a quick apology for the technical issues tonight, but we did get through eventually. Congratulations to Chris Samard, as we are going to take a night off now, and I'm going to go and get my computer hit with a baseball bat or something. Tomorrow night we'll be back again with the Go Fast Racing League here at Richmond again. We will see you tomorrow night, and keep it clean, keep it green.